Remember when you were lonely and you craved affection?
Oh my god, wow, yeah, you're right. This is a really bad situation. We don't have an elevator pitch. We're like, just listen to us talk for 20 minutes and you'll understand why this podcast is called The Mindful Chaos. Yeah, this guy's a therapist, guys.
I just offended everyone.
You're gonna get canceled.
The what? The podcast that serial killers hate.
Chaotic.
Okay,
Yeah.
And cut.
You know, in every single episode, we end up talking about friends and how we have no friends.
Yeah, we like talking about things we don't have. So
You don't have a dog anymore.
yeah, love that. Thanks for reminding me. I had forgotten that I have a dead dog. Now you reminded me.
You don't have a girlfriend.
Thank you again. Just a list of you just woke up and chose violence today. Thanks, Claudia.
I was just listing things that we don't have, but then I ended up listing things that
just
you
me.
don't have.
It's just an attack. It's just a personal attack.
It's just an attack. Well, anyways, we always talk about friends in every single episode, so I think what better way to have an episode for us to talk about friends. So I did some Google research, and people asking about questions on friends, they usually ask if you need more friends or better friends. And then some people ask, are friends good for your mental health? Which I think is a very important question. And then another question is, how do you sustain a friendship as an adult? Which now I feel like we're adults.
Wow.
Still can't believe that we're adults.
Wow, I'm turning 30 next week. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, happy early birthday. And then we can count how many friends you have at this age, and then how many friends you had when you were 20.
Dude, I had way more friends back then.
I know, so then that's something that we're going to talk about later on whether it is harder to sustain a friendship as an adult. But to begin, I wanted to see if you've ever heard of this thing called the friendship paradox.
No, what's that?
So basically, it's a phenomenon in network science and sociology that basically says that your friends probably have more friends than you do on average. For example, if I walked into a room and I met Alice and Bob, Alice is more popular and Bob is more shy, I'm likely to be friends with Alice. So then that means Alice ends up being my friend, and her as a friend, she definitely has more friends than me. So that is this friendship paradox.
Right. But isn't that just another way of saying more popular people have more friends?
I was also thinking, like, okay, if my friends have more friends than me, am I ever a friend that has more friends than my friends?
Because...
You know what I mean?
Wait, because friendship, it goes both ways. So
exactly.
What does this mean? Why are you looking into this? This is so confusing.
Yeah, but this was the first thing that came up when I was searching for, like, do you need more friends or better friends? And there are so many articles about this thing called friendship paradox, and I never heard of it. I was trying to figure this out, like, how that makes sense, but apparently mathematically it makes sense. I don't know, maybe I'm just not smart enough to understand this.
Cool, let's get into the questions.
So then...
Now that you guys are all confused, like us, we can get started.
Yeah. So then, do you need more friends or do you need better friends?
I've always thought I need more because I choose people well. So I don't feel like I need better friends. It's just I'm very selective. So I need more people to choose from.
Then the friends that you have that you've already selected, do they not satisfy you? Why do you?
No, it's just because I'm getting old. It's just I'm really old, and then people around me are getting married and having kids, and they don't have time for me anymore. That sounds tragic. So, thanks.
But that's also another thing too. Like, I feel like as you move to another life stage, it does feel like your friends diminish.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. But just because, for example, I'm married, it doesn't mean I stop being your friend.
Yeah, but then you have less time. Like, better friends is usually spending more time together or having more fun together. But when your friends all have partners and they have other priorities, then you can't spend half as much time together as you did back in your 20s, right?
So you just want more people to fill up more of your time.
Yeah, so each person can spend like 1 day in a month with me, and I'll feel better. But if I start with 3 friends, and only one of them can spend an hour with me a month, then I have 1 friend a month.
So you need like a rotation of friends.
Yeah. That's the strategy.
That's actually very funny because then I met up with a friend recently and he was showing me some of his notes and he has a map of content for his friends. So
Map of
basically he
content.
lists out
Okay.
map of content. He lists out all of his friends, like every single friend that he knows, and then he
Yeah.
categorizes them into different categories. So I feel like I'm exposing him right now, but
Yeah.
he had a friend plus plus category, and then he had a friend plus category, and then
Okay.
he had like acquaintances category. So I guess it's just
Okay.
kind of like, the different level of friendship. Instead of saying acquaintance, friend, close friend, best friend, he just labeled it as friend plus plus. And then he
Okay.
also categorizes them based off of what he enjoys doing with them or,
Yeah.
the quote unquote purpose with them. So he has hiking friends, he has travel friends, he has collaborators. And then he also categorizes them based on where they're based. So they're like in Hong Kong,
Oh,
they're in
right. Okay.
Germany, they're in Australia.
Yeah.
So then when I looked through his list, I was like, oh, wow, you have so many friends. And he turned to me and he was like, I'm pretty sure you have that too. But I think because I don't list them all out, I don't
Right.
actually know the number of friends that I have. And
Yeah.
then on the top of my mind, I have a few close friends.
Yeah.
But that's why I always feel like, oh, I don't have friends. I don't have friends. Because in my mind, I only have those 3 that I always remember.
Does that speak to your criteria for what makes a good friend, though?
I think it's also because I don't categorize them. I think if I were to categorize them, for example, for like people I like to go explore new restaurants with, people
Yeah.
I like to go travel with, people I party with, then I would be able to kind of see that category and then be like, oh, I wanna go hiking tomorrow. Let me look into the people who are my
Right.
hiking friends.
Yeah.
And if I did that, then I would stop being like, oh my god, I have no friends. I have no friends. No one to do this with me.
Okay. I feel like the friends are different for me because I don't have that many activities in my life.
You don't do
When I,
things.
when I don't do things, then friends for me are more people I just want to spend time with rather than specific activities because then I don't have friends I do specific activities with.
Then what do you spend time like when you say spend time with them? What do you do?
Hang out, just anything. So it's like dinner
Okay,
or like just hang out, literally just go to the house or go out.
yeah, just to like see them just for the sake of seeing
Yeah,
them,
just to
right?
see them. Yeah, see them just for the sake of it.
Yeah, I mean, I have those friends too. I think of those friends as like my best friends. Like
Yeah,
they're the
same.
ones who help me recharge. They help me feel better. But
Yeah.
then some other friends, I mean, there are some friends that also kind of drain my battery. It doesn't mean that I don't like them, but it just means that it's a little bit more tiring and I need to be fully recharged when I see them.
Yeah, like the ones you do podcasts with, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah, where you have to like take a nap first and fully
yeah,
recharge before
yeah.
you get that
Oh, I gotta
conversation
see
going.
Claudia. Oh.
You gotta psych yourself up, like, okay, it's okay, it's only an hour.
Okay,
We only gotta talk for an hour.
sorry. And then I won't reply
You
to
just gotta
text.
switch on.
It's okay. It's okay.
You just gotta switch on for an hour, and then I won't have to talk to her again for another like week or two.
No, yeah, I agree that that's how I see friends. But like back to the question of, I think I'd still want more friends because not I don't want to hang out with the same 3 friends every month. It sounds a
Maybe
bit.
they want to hang out with you every month. What do you mean?
No,
That's
I'm
so
saying
rude to your 3
theoretically.
friends.
I don't even have 3 friends who want to see me every month. So I'm just that's actually a hyperbole. It's an exaggeration of my social life.
I To me, I feel like maybe I don't need more friends. I think I have a lot of acquaintances that could turn into friends. It's just I haven't taken the time to build that friendship
Is it a
or
matter of
foster it.
time though?
I think it's definitely a matter of time. I think this actually leads into the question 3 of like, what are the rules to sustaining friendship, which I
Right.
think we can jump around,
Yeah.
which is a a pretty fun thing that I read. I have a lot of opinions about it, and I feel like you
Oh,
would too.
is it just as
So
confusing
basically,
as the first paradox?
no, it's less confusing.
Okay, good.
But this is a study done by Medium Magazine on like what are the rules to sustaining friendship for adults, and they actually came up with a formula. It's called 11-3-6, which means you need a minimum of 11 meetings of at least 3 hours in a period of 6 months to turn an acquaintance into a true friend.
Oh, that explains my lack of friends.
Yeah, first of all, that was like a lot of math for me to try to figure out. I was like, okay, 11 meetings, at least 3 hours in a period of 6 months. So, how long do I have to meet someone in a month? And how long is that meeting for?
Yeah,
And it, it essentially means you have to meet that person almost twice a month for
yeah.
6 months for at least 16 minutes each
No
time.
way. There's no way. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, and this is meeting, right? It's not
Yeah,
even like
not a
I'm gonna
call or
message this
yeah,
person. Yeah, I'm not gonna call this person. What about FaceTime? I don't think
doesn't
FaceTime
count.
counts either.
Wow, that explains a lot.
I feel like when you're in university or you're
Yeah,
at
yeah,
work, you see those people every day.
way
So
easier.
you have those 11 meetings
Yeah,
for
yeah,
more than 16 minutes.
yeah.
But then as an adult, how do you make friends now? I mean, you just moved to Australia. So how did you make friends in the beginning?
Mostly just church and work, but in the beginning it was uni and church.
All right. Yeah, because you were doing your master's.
Yeah, but it's been hard. I think being an immigrant, coming from such a different culture, it's been very difficult to make friends.
If the culture of friendship is different too, like, does that make you feel like it goes against your own values? Because you don't feel friendship the same way as them.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's hard. Like just because I know how to define friendships or what the expectations or norms are, doesn't mean I feel it. So I'll be like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
like this person will only have dinner with me once every 2 months. They think we're really good friends. I know that
yeah.
intellectually, but I'm like, bro, like that's barely an acquaintance in my books. So my feeling is I will forget about this human being.
Is there a time frame where a friend gets demoted back into an acquaintance?
I don't think that's mathematical. I think that's a feeling.
You have to spend negative 11
Yeah,
hours.
you have to undo the hours you spend.
You gotta rewind.
I mean, they don't even count the quality of that time, right? You can spend 3 hours, like horrible hours. That doesn't mean anything.
You just sit there in like excruciating pain staring
Awkward
at each other
silence.
because you have nothing to say. And then you're like,
Oh,
I feel a lot closer to you now.
we are best friends.
Yeah. But wait, do you know that experiment where apparently if you just stare at someone in the eye for,
Yeah,
I don't know, is it 30 seconds or something, then you feel like you could fall in love with that person?
I've heard of that.
So maybe it's similar.
Is that why I'm still single? Maybe I just need to force someone to stare into my eyes for 30 seconds.
Maybe you should try that. Maybe that's a social experiment you should do on the streets of Sydney.
Stare at me for 30 seconds. So back to the question. Do you need more friends? What's your view? Do you need more friends or do you need better friends?
I think that goes back to what you were saying about how, like, some of your friends are getting married, like having kids, and then that's why you feel like you have less friends. Because I do feel like at the different stages of our lives, we have different things to talk about.
Yeah.
So, like, when my friend was talking about dating, and
Yeah.
she really seriously looked at me and was like, "Oh, you remember what that was like, right?" And she gave an example of that. And I kind of just stared at her blankly for like 5 seconds, trying to dig out the memories of what that
Oh
felt
my
like. And I
gosh.
had to just be honest and be like, honestly, I really don't remember.
Oh wow. Wow. That flex.
It's not I'm like I wanted to relate because I want to continue having that conversation. I was like, it's just been so long.
Remember when you were lonely and you craved affection? No, I have that every morning and night now. It's just
Remember when no one loved you?
no, that's just a you thing now. You're alone in
Yeah,
that.
sounds like a you problem. No, but I want to relate so bad because then
Yeah,
even when I was like, at that stage, at that age,
yeah,
when my friends get together, like we always just talk about dating and
yeah.
boys, which was another thing that I wanted to bring up too. On, I think it relates to our friends good for mental health because there was also this psychological research that obviously suggests that stable, healthy friendships are crucial for our well
Oh no,
being. Friends bring happiness into our lives.
yeah.
Like, yada, yada, yada. But then there's this one thing that I found, which was a very interesting research done in 2006, where people see greater friendship potential in others who share their negative rather than positive opinions.
Oh,
So I want to take a
okay,
moment and talk about that
okay,
because before reading this, I mean, even after reading this, I kind of don't want to agree with it,
right.
but I also want to see what you think.
I think I agree. Like, having a common enemy unites people.
Yeah, and that's what the research say, right?
Yeah,
They're like, it's not that we enjoy disliking people, it's that we enjoy meeting people who dislike the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Find difference.
But then in my mind, I think I have had a few friends like that, and I have a few friends who have friends like that.
Yeah,
Like, once you have nothing else to talk about on the negativity
right,
side, you kind of realize you don't have anything to talk about.
right, right. And then if there are only negative things, then you come to the realization of, oh, like this is probably not a healthy relationship if we're only united on the negatives.
Exactly. Like we come out, we have lunch, and the
Mm.
entire hour we're like talking shit about
Right, right.
someone.
Yeah, this usually work for me too. Yeah, it's very similar. It's great to talk about work and like hate on the bosses or managers,
Yeah.
but then like once I quit that place and moved to another place, it's like we don't really maintain communication anymore. It's a bit sad because it felt like we
Exactly.
were like brothers in arms or
Bonded.
like comrades. But then after that, it's like, oh, we're not fighting anymore. Cool, see ya.
Yeah, you traitor. You left the army.
Yeah, probably.
Even at work, when we talk about the negative stuff for so long too, it
Yeah,
affects me mentally
yeah,
too. Like I would probably not have felt that bad about it, but then I also feel like everyone riles you up and then
yeah,
it
yeah.
gets
You hype
more
each
and more
other up.
negative. Exactly. And then I'm like, oh my God, wow, yeah, you're right. This is a really bad situation.
Wow, that's horrible. That's actually really bad for you, like for the mental space.
Right?
Yeah, it exacerbates a already difficult situation.
Yeah. And then I was like, I probably could have gotten over it in 10
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
But because we talked about in such depth and try to analyze the entire situation,
yeah,
now I'm angry
yeah,
like for
yeah.
an hour.
Wow. I think what the study might also be referring to, it's that sense of camaraderie in that moment.
Mm.
Like as opposed to me trying to complain to a colleague and they're like disagreeing with me. They actually love the manager out, and I'll just be like, "Oh, great, cool. We'll never be friends at this rate, then. You loving your
Never, I'm
job,
never going to talk to you again.
yeah. Screw you. You like your job,
Yeah, like misery loves
yeah,
company, right?
exactly that.
That's the thing. Like, how do you sustain a friendship? I think the most important question of all of these questions at the end, too, is like, how do you sustain a friendship after that? Like, like you said, after you moved work, like, that was it. You guys don't hang out anymore because you don't have common
Right.
topics.
Right. Well, I guess it's like a part effort, part luck. It's like the luck part is just are you going to evolve in a similar direction together in your hobbies, in your
Mm,
passions, life direction. But then effort, I think, is it also plays a huge role. It's like even if you're on parallel paths, you can choose to ignore each other, but then you can also choose to actually invest in it, as you said, right? Fostering acquaintances into friendships. Wow.
Okay, let's try that again.
No, I'm just gonna give up. I don't. You can keep that in. It's all right.
I think, yes, the research and what you said makes sense, where it's, you guys are in the same thing together.
Yeah.
Like you guys are bonded over the same emotions.
Mm.
But I just think that if it's a friendship built off of negativity,
Yeah.
it's usually kind of hard to come out of that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I can think of one that's built purely on negativity.
Yeah, like you never started off a friendship where you're like, oh my God, I hate this person. And
Yeah.
someone's like, I hate them too.
I mean, it's kind of fun if you like have those like brief conversations at work, but not when it's like
Yeah.
the whole hey, let's hang out and have coffee so we can talk shit about work.
So I feel like there are some people that it's just easier to go back into that kind of conversation
Mm.
when there's nothing else to say. And they're like, okay, let's just go back to the gossip.
Yeah, I think that for me reflects character, and that's not the type of character I want to develop in myself. So I try not to surround myself with.
Gossipers.
Yeah,
I love a good gossip sometimes, though.
depends. Some people make it fun
I
to
know
gossip.
you guys like it.
It's like fun gossip, but then there's like actual like really morbid and depressing gossip, and
Oh,
those I
okay.
kind of avoid. I feel like what this study is saying is like it can strengthen those friendships, but then who we want to surround ourselves with is another question.
Yeah. And I love how we're just like putting our own thoughts into
Yeah.
what we think the research is saying, even though the research says that it sees greater friendship potential in others who share their negative
Yeah.
rather than positive opinions.
And we're like, no,
no.
I think this is what they say.
I think
and no.
what you mean. I think what you mean is
This is the
it
scientific
helps
method.
build the friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the scientific method.
Yeah, what we're saying is a scientific fact. One other study, it's called Friendship and Its Implications for Mental Health and Social Competence.
Okay.
Talks about how having few or no friends is not always a direct indication of disorder. So this one's quite interesting too, because then it just means that like just because you have no friends, it doesn't mean that it's bad for your mental health either.
Oh, what?
Because then they say that friendships, there's a complex relationship between friendships and mental health. So then I guess it's exactly what we were saying, right? Like you could have more friends, but
Right.
if those friends are bad
Right,
for you,
right.
that could still be bad for your mental health.
Yeah, but if you have no friends, how can that be healthy for you?
You are a really good friend to yourself.
This is all the physical touch I need. This is my love language. Quality time with myself. Every waking moment.
Maybe you have really good family. Okay, do you think family can replace friends?
I don't think so.
Some people say like my mom or my dad is my best friend.
Maybe in that case, good for them.
Like good for you. You guys
Yeah.
have no trauma.
Yeah, imagine that. Like, if your parents are your best friends, or your siblings are your best friends, and you've got like 3 or 4 people already in your own smallest circle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then that's it.
That's
you
it.
don't need anyone else.
Yeah, easy.
We're just like, wow, what is this life we don't understand?
It's both dawning on us that it is possible, theoretically. But we're Chinese. So
Our parents don't say I love you,
Yeah.
so I don't.
we can never call them by their first names.
Yeah, I oh my gosh, I never understand that. I think it's so funny when Chinese kids call their parents by their first name.
That's
'cause
so weird.
I look at them like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get smacked.
I know. Like, what? You gotta be written out of the will. Why would you?
But I know someone who actually calls his mom
With English first name?
by the first name. English first name. Sometimes as a joke, like Chinese name, but even when I try to do that with my mom, I get like really
Yeah,
scared.
dude, I would not. No way.
My voice starts shaking.
Yo!
Just a joke, Mom. Just a joke.
Yo, Jessica. No.
But I think like in Western culture,
Yeah.
they do have more of like a friendship
Yeah.
with their family
I don't
rather
know
than
why.
in Chinese culture.
Is it more flat hierarchy? less of a top down.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, even you, like now, you're a therapist in Australia.
Yeah.
The things that they talk to you about is probably different than the things that they talk to you about in Asia.
Slightly, yeah. So the way we approach family dynamics would be quite different.
Yeah, because I just feel like they're, like you said, a flat
Yeah.
hierarchy.
So I have to consider that too. It's like when I'm thinking about treating them, or helping them, then the strategies we come up with, I would have to switch modes. Like I can't be in Asian mode. I have to be like my banana mode, like white inside.
Yeah, you can't be like, you can't say that to your mom.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, how dare you not text your mom? I was like,
Yeah, that's just disrespect.
yeah, it's like, what? You haven't seen your mom in 2 months? What?
How is that possible? My mom would have smacked me. She would have left like 10 missed calls. No, even more actually.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, I mean, yeah, technically the study could be right, but I just have never met anyone, nor do I ever want to be in a position where I would test that theory.
Yeah, where you're like, I'm okay with having no friends. But I guess it's not that, like, you don't have friends. It's having few friends.
How few is good enough for you?
I always feel like, as you get older too, you're like quality over quantity.
Yeah.
You're not like when you're in your university where you need 30 people, like 30 friends at your birthday parties.
Yeah. What do you think adult friendships are based on? Is it common topics? Is it same life stage? Is it values or?
I think it's easier on same life stage now.
Okay.
So, for example, we're trying to build this podcast, this Instagram page, this platform for mental health. And then I've been meeting a lot of other people who are trying to do all of these social enterprises and things that are a service to the community. Yeah. So then I think we have things to talk about in that sense.
Oh, true.
But then when I meet other people, I do have a little, like, I sometimes feel like I hold myself back because I'm like, I don't really know what we should talk about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like, do we dig back into our history? Because we just met. Like, do we go talk about our middle school?
Right. That would be so weird. How was your year 9 experience?
Yeah, and then like where do you build off of that? And we can't go into the deep conversations right away, right? Like I can't go up to that new friend and be like, you know what? I've really been having trouble finding new friends. They're like, hey, how are you? How's it going? Everything is great. Loving life. And then that's it. You have nothing to say.
Yeah, that's it. But how about curiosity? Like, if you're curious about each other's life as an adult, then could get you to more depths and more substantial topics.
Yeah, but I think that's why, like, guys talk about politics or history or, things that are happening on the news because everyone knows about it. Right. So then you guys talk about that.
Right.
But if I'm curious about that person, I also get worried that it's like our first meeting and then I get way too deep. I'm like, what makes you feel that way? Like, how were you brought up?
Yeah, true. I think that's more of a date thing for me rather than like, I know this is a platonic friendship, but I would jump right into this.
What are your thoughts about having kids?
Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah, like, where is that balance? How do you go from, like, really surface level stuff to really deep? Or, like, where's that middle line?
But I feel like it's a two-way street, right? If the other person is similar to you or is the same vibe, then that's the vibe check. Then they will also reciprocate. And they might ask you deeper questions. Yeah. If it's someone you're afraid to raise those topics with, I think that's the metric of probably not going to be a best friend. If someone wants to talk to me about F1, then I would just be like, look, I've watched Drive to Survive, and that's about it.
You're like, look, I want to talk about your childhood trauma.
On a related note,
I'm not here. I'm not here about F1.
Yeah. Vroom vroom. What's your childhood like?
Red flags, green flags.
It's a new segment, okay?
Red flag or green flag? A friend who always reaches out to hang out with you, but only sometimes do the plans work out.
Green, I'd say. Effort counts.
Is it?
Intention counts. I'd rather they keep reaching out and it doesn't work out than they don't.
Wouldn't you at some point just feel like Like, okay, yeah, you keep saying you'll reach out, but then, or like you keep saying like let's hang out, but then you never hang out. Then what's the point? Stop saying it.
Oh wait, are they planning though? Like, are they actually like, oh, Thursday, or is it just always?
So it could be like a few. It could be like a few scenarios. Like, so
This
this
is getting
person
so
could.
complicated. This is not closer.
Yeah, it's not
this
so
is this is
straightforward.
not the end of an episode. It's like it's a whole ass of an episode.
Okay, no. If a person reaches out
Yeah.
to hang out 5 times,
Yeah.
but only shows up twice, red
Do
flag
they
or green flag.
ghost me though? Do they just like leave?
They cancel.
Or they cancel like last minute?
Last minute cancel, but they show up at least 2 out of 5 times.
That's tough. If it was 3, I'd say green flag.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't say 3. I was like, it's on the low side.
Yeah, it's on the low side.
But it's not on the it's not on the average side where you're like, I think it's okay. Because I also feel like 3 times, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
But if it's 2 times,
I feel like if
a
it's 2
little
times, I'll have a conversation with them.
Okay, well, you're a healthy friend. Red flag or green flag? You only have friends of the opposite sex.
Red. So red. Like,
Why?
raging red. What do you mean, why?
Because a lot of guys have girlfriends just because the guy might be more emotional, though.
Yeah, but like only girlfriends? Why do other guys hate you?
Okay, but what if it's like 90%?
90 makes a bit more sense.
Oh, that 10%.
Because I'm like 80 plus because my colleagues are all women.
Okay, I guess if all your colleagues are women, then like the environment that you're surrounded
Yeah, I have no choice.
makes it harder for you to find a male friend.
Yeah. So, but if it's not, if they're like a finance bro, and it's all females, if 90% females, I'm like, you're finding females somewhere else. So you're going out of your way to find them. And that's a problem.
Red flag or green flag? Someone that when you reach out to, you could never find, but they always reach out to you.
Oh, that's a good one. I would say that's a red in the long term.
In the long term, yeah.
Like,
because it feels like
yeah.
a user, right?
Right. If it's like 1 year, someone has a tough year and everything's going wrong, then okay, like that's fair. But if it's like a pattern over more than a year, then I would say like, come on, like you either don't need a friend, you need a therapist or a social worker.
Yeah, it's true. It needs to be mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
Friendship is different than having a therapist, which is a really great topic to talk about on another episode.
Yes. We always end like that. Wow. Good job.